Hello, everyone, and welcome to Starkage. I am Astrovert, and here with me today I have Prince,
Howdy.
Dr. Oatmeal, as always, and Crimson.
Hello there.
Okay, Obi-Wan Kenobi. Anyways, so, fellas, what is the topic for today?
Well, currently it's the end of June.
Yes.
So happy Pride Month, guys.
Yeah, we all know what month that is.
Yep.
Yeah. But there's another one that gets forgotten. Or should be as important.
Yeah. It's,
Men's
yeah.
Mental Health Awareness
Yeah.
Month, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a,
That one's not really it's not really talked about a lot.
yeah, and
Yeah.
it's going to be the topic for today's podcast. We're mostly going to be talking about mental health, I think. But this is going to have the men's mental health like underlining. So,
Yeah.
anyways, who wants to start us off? What exactly, I guess, is men's mental health? Or should we start with statistics?
Go with the statistics.
Okay. I mean, I only have a couple here. This is based off the Illinois.gov. But let's see here. So, a recent survey revealed that 49% of men felt more depressed than they admitted to the people in their lives. And I'm not sure if it was this also the same source, but I also read that somewhere men are 4 times more likely to commit suicide than women in the United States. Or wait, did I say 40 or 60%? I think it's 60%.
Damn.
Yeah, so
yeah.
it's
That's
quite high.
Yeah,
Pretty
that is
high.
quite high.
which is like it's crazy to me because like why isn't the mental health, especially towards men, being like prioritized if it's that high, you know?
Yeah, I mean, just with the one statistic, if you round it up to half, like half the men you meet are more depressed than they're willing to admit.
Yeah, I think there's just a big like societal expectation for men to not want to like seek therapy, or like I feel like a lot of us know like a male figure in our lives where like those same people are like, oh, you're weak-minded if you need to go to therapy. Like we don't need to go to therapy. Like we should be able to deal with it on our own as men. And I feel like there's big parts of our society like that where it becomes an issue.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like a compulsory hyper independence.
And I think that's stupid, really.
Yeah, I'm not too gangster to admit that I would need a therapist and
I'll
a
admit it right now.
psychiatrist.
I'll admit it right now. I'm going through
So
therapy,
am I.
Yeah,
and it's helping a lot. Yeah.
yeah. I'm going through psychiatry. I don't really have a therapist right now. Just because I can't afford it.
Also, I
That's another thing that yeah.
was going to make a quick correction. Sorry, I got that number wrong. It's 80% of all suicides in the U.S., sir. I think.
You really just said, hold on, let me make this number higher.
Yeah. I mean, I was like
Hold up.
60% is already pretty high, but like 80% is insane.
Right.
Yeah, so I don't know why I got those numbers, but yes, it's looking like 80%. And of course, it depends on the
Yeah.
sources, but yeah, even higher than you would expect.
Damn.
Absent.
I mean, like, I know we're just looking at one source, but like, I can see like that being accurate just because, like, the toxic male mindset, like, like Keaton said, you're a man, you're supposed to deal with your problems, don't show emotion, like, deal with it. Yeah, and I grew up with that mentality. Like, my family, especially my dad, forced that onto me. It's like, So whenever I got upset at my family, like I really wouldn't like say anything. I would just go into my room, like self isolate.
Yep.
Uh, yeah,
Which creates that
and
pattern of like, if I feel something, I need to isolate.
Right.
yeah, and that was really bad to learn because that affects my relationship now. Because if something bothers me, I just completely shut down. I self isolate and like get away from everyone.
Right.
See, like it's okay, I guess, if you want to like, take some time to go be by yourself,
Yeah.
but you got to go back to it, I guess. Like you got to go back to address it.
You
Yeah.
gotta resolve
And
it.
I never really went back to like resolve it. I would just forget about it. I wouldn't want to talk about it.
Yeah. No.
And that just,
Yeah.
yeah, just makes more problems.
And I think the thing that's really like complicated too is because like a lot of times like you're supposed to look at it logically is what you're taught, and that gets really confusing because have you ever had it to where like you logically look at a situation and like this is how it should be handled, but you ended up not doing it anyways,
Yeah.
and it's because like emotions really dictate a lot of like what we do. And so a lot of times like
Right.
just because you logically think through something doesn't mean that you're emotionally there. And I think men are taught
Yeah.
taught a lot to be like, hey, you need to be rational, which rational means that you need to think only logically, which in my opinion is not actually the most rational thing to do sometimes. And yeah, they tend to
Yeah.
have a lack of emotional intelligence with not only themselves but also with others, because like if you can't even do it with yourself, how can you do it with others? And that just obviously creates a lot of other complications, like Prince said, with like relationships and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But that's all like
Um,
really fascinating to me.
I also was taught that like other people had it worse than me. So it's like,
Yeah.
oh, why should you be like upset over this? Like other people have it worse. Like people are starving or dying,
Yeah.
and it's like, okay, I have no time to like feel bad about myself or anything. Like gotta go work or go pay bills. Like blah blah blah, whatever. Be a man. And it's that mentality is just stupid to me. Really, really stupid.
And it also
Well, it
teaches you
also
to compare yourself to others. Like, because
Yeah.
you can also reverse logic that, like, oh, if someone else is like feeling down or whatever, it's like, hey, it could be worse.
yeah, and then that just kind of downplays
And
like
yeah,
your feelings, and then that just doesn't create a very good environment where you can really express your feelings or even learn how to.
Yeah.
yeah, because it doesn't change the situation.
Right.
Just because like someone else has it harder doesn't change the fact that like, hey, this is still not great for you. Like just bringing that into mind doesn't change anything.
Yeah. Well, I wish like it was not taught like that.
Yeah.
Just because the way I see it is like we're all human beings, so we all feel things. Like I don't know why some men would, if you'd say like you feel things, they'd be like, oh, don't stop being a woman or stop being. We're not past 10 minutes. I can't swear yet.
Yeah. Good
Yeah.
point.
Stop being a B word.
But yeah, like, yeah. And it's just kind of stupid to me that like, why is it like being like emotional, like associated with like a certain gender or sex or whatever, like that's just so stupid to me. As you said earlier, we're all
Or like
humans.
feeling those emotions are associated with cowardice,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or like being wimpy.
See, I think
And
I don't get it.
I think like if you're able to talk to someone, especially to like a friend you really really trust, I don't see that as a sign of weakness. I really see that's like it's strength because you're showing that vulnerable part of you that like no one really gets to see.
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, I say that to myself a lot too. It's like part of like what I think is like actual like true strength is to openly show your weaknesses.
Right.
Because I mean, like, what's like, I mean, how is that weak to show like, hey, this is my weak points? You know, you're really putting yourself out there. You're really making yourself vulnerable, but and trust that you're strong enough to like handle that. And that that's I don't think that's really ever taught like that. I mean, obviously not, because it's like, oh, you show your weakness, then you're weak.
Yeah. There's also like
And I don't think that's how it
yeah.
should be.
I know a lot of culture um that can play into it too.
Yeah.
At least speaking from the Hispanic community. um just just the self-isolation thing, that's what I was taught. And also even when I did admit to my family that I was going to therapy, they just started roasting the hell out of me. they're, they're like, yo, why are you going to therapy? Like just straight up make fun of me. And I'm like, okay, like I'm trying to better myself out here. Like I always I always say, like I always say this to them. I really don't care if I say this on the podcast. I always say like, okay, do you want me to go get help or do you want a dead son? Like, what are we doing here?
Yeah.
And I don't want to. I'm not trying to make this episode like a Debbie Downer, but like, I just take mental health very seriously because, especially these days, like it's getting pretty hard out here. Like, yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
I think it's very important that people like help each other out. Like, we're able to talk to each other.
Yeah, we're supposed to be a community, and we're supposed to help each other.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, the cultural
And it's
aspect of
interesting.
that is definitely like really frustrating to deal with, I can imagine.
Yeah.
And I don't think your culture, at least here in the US, like I don't think it's the only culture that doesn't respond well to the idea of going to therapy.
I mean, I think
Yeah, there's definitely a lot of other ones too.
therapy is like amazing to go to. Like, I mean, it took me a long, long time to finally go see someone. Like, I was doing everything but to try to go see someone. Like, I was writing in my like a journal, and that didn't really help at all. So
Why why were you avoiding it? Because I feel like you have a very intimate understanding about men's mental health, you know what I mean? Being like a man with mental health struggles who actively avoided the the channels of like more healthy habits. Like what kept you from it? Was it just like the
yeah,
family stuff?
that was the big one. I kind of like didn't want to feel like a letdown to the family, I guess. But as I grow older,
Yeah.
I'm just like, fuck it. I'm doing this for me. I really could give it like less of a shit, really.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fuck it, we ball.
Would you say you did that also in part to like avoid conflict with them?
Yeah, that too.
Or, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's kind of like a big one for me personally. It's just like I really hate conflict. So I tend to avoid it if I can. But it's always important to know when you should stand up for yourself and do what you think is right for yourself.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So that's really, it's really great that you were able to do that. And I think it's really important for a lot of other people out there to take those first steps and, you know, like start working to getting to that point. So, I mean, if you don't mind me asking, like, I mean, is there like any recommendations that you would give to people who might be in a similar situation, like just to get them started? Like, what helped you personally start that journey?
Well, for me, it was like my partner. She pushed me to do it. Because what how I was raised when things were bothering me was starting to affect our relationship, and I'm like, all right, I need to fix this, or this is not gonna work. But the I guess what the it was grief was basically the main reason why I went, and I've been going for a year, and it's helped a hell of a lot. Like I've went through hell and climbed my way out, and I don't know. I think it's just once you get over how like, oh, what will my family or what will my friends think? It's like it's stupid to think that, because it's like I'm sure if they really love you, they're gonna support you to get better.
Right.
I mean, it it doesn't
Yeah.
hurt to just try it. Like it's a new thing. I know it's scary. You're probably gonna think, why does this person want to listen to me? Like you're gonna be very skeptical, like I was. But it's just nice that you finally have like an outlet to really let out your feelings, like what you're really feeling. I mean, I really didn't
Yeah,
think
that's
my therapist was gonna get through to me at all, and she read me like a book. Yeah,
Got him.
got
yeah,
him. But yeah, they're really good about. I mean, from my understanding, because I don't actually have any personal experience, unfortunately. But from my understanding, they're really good about like directing you, like just you talk to them and they just try to direct you and try to like help you along the way. But I think a big part of therapy too is like you have to really put yourself out there. Like you have to really put yourself into the session as well, and that way they can like help you like lead you to where you need to go.
yeah. They do a really good job to make you feel, I guess, safe, like welcomed, like they heard.
Heard.
Yeah, and
So
then from my experience too, I'd say that, yeah, they do a really good job of like leading you to figuring out things on your own without like basically telling you what to do or anything. But they're really
Yeah.
just guides to helping you understanding your feelings, and I think it's incredibly helpful.
Yeah, because it teaches you how to do it on your own too, rather than just giving you an answer sheet. Because I mean, there is really no answer sheet for it, you know.
Right.
Yeah, like I learned a couple things. I mean, this is what helps me. Like if something's bothering me, I first think, what's the thought, and then what's the feeling, and how am I behaving? Like I take it like little steps, and I think that's at
Yeah,
least
because
people who are raised how I was. I feel like that's helpful. I mean, I work
yeah,
for
rather than just being overwhelmed
yeah.
with the big picture right away, you take it step by step.
Like I've come to realize that if something does bother me, like I need a moment. Like I can't react at the time.
Right.
I need to like think about like how is this making me feel.
I get like that too. It takes me sometimes a couple days to compartmentalize how I'm feeling. That way I don't like act impulsively. And that's like something I had to learn after like years of ruining opportunities in my life, and then like going through organized therapy and psychiatry to like understand trigger points and coping mechanisms and stuff like
Yeah.
that, you know.
I, I mean, I understand you because usually I can act really hot or really cold depending on the situation. So
Mhm.
it's something I had to learn to about myself.
Uh, so something interesting I came across. So like for me personally, just to give a little bit of background real quick. So even though I've never went to any sessions or anything like that, I did go through a pretty rough time in my life, but I watch a YouTube channel that I think is called just healthygamer.gg. And I just watch his content a lot, and he's he's got a PhD and all that stuff, and like it's like I think psychiatry. I'm not exactly sure what he has a PhD in, but he talks about like a lot of like different things in general. But during one of the videos I watched from him, he mentioned that like I don't know if this is true for you guys, which is why I was wanting to ask this, but um, a lot of times for guys, like they're told to like suppress like certain emotions, but the one that's okay to express and that you should express is anger.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that I thought that was interesting because it's like
Yeah, that's a fair.
how like there's a lot of guys they don't really express anything until they're mad, and they have no issues with that. And it's just interesting this when like someone states that and like seeing the result of that and realize that you've been seeing this result the whole time.
I think that's the one thing I had a long time to like come to accept about myself is that like I do seem to get like angry quickly. Like if something pisses me off, like I see red. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm just that's
Yeah,
why
that's
I
fair.
back off cuz I don't like hurting people. But yeah,
Yeah.
just sometimes people just push buttons and then I feel like it just gets worse from there.
Yeah, like a
Yeah.
snowball effect.
Yeah, because I get like that sometimes too. If I feel like I've been wronged or something, I'm just like I just go off the deep and I start ranting really bad. Like, but I mean, I have also like learned that it's like also okay to be angry too. Like, because I think that's my problem with like certain emotions, especially like, well, I mean in this case anger. Like I don't want to be angry because I don't like being mad at people because it causes conflict and I don't like conflict. But like sometimes
Right.
you have to know like when it's okay to feel like, or like, well, not okay to feel, but like okay to express that.
Yeah.
Because I'm also like quite a bit of a people pleaser, and sometimes I don't express
Gotcha.
when I'm upset, and then that gets bottled up, and that's really bad. So sometimes it's like could just be like, hey, I don't like this thing you did, and we should just talk about it.
So like the takeaway here is like it's okay to acknowledge your feelings and hold your peers accountable, but your fist ends at the tip of somebody's nose. It's never okay
Yeah.
to lash out.
Yeah. Or yeah, definitely not even threaten really. I wouldn't I wouldn't even
Yeah.
try to like threaten people. But yeah, that's a
Yeah,
really
that's
good way to
like
visualize it.
when it's funny that you say that anger is permitted, you know, like my brother taught me how to like fight and stuff when I was like in grade school. And he says that like, oh, them having to hit you first is just like a myth to stop people from defending themselves. As soon as someone like threatens you, you should consider you should consider them's fighting words. You know what I mean? Like you should already consider that you are in a fight. You've gone through the fog door. There is a health bar at the bottom of the screen. Now you're
Not the dark
fighting.
side.
Like you can't just because they're not near you or haven't swung at you yet doesn't mean you're not fighting. You're fighting right now. You know, so take that information to the bank and cash it. You know, sometimes you get the preemptive strike and you hit first. You know, but if someone says like say one more thing, I'm gonna punch you in the face, you should be like, man, fuck you. And if they like move at all, just sock them in the mouth. You know, that's what I learned from my brother. And then what I learned from my father is more diplomatic. You know what I mean? Like there's a level of conflict resolution that you need to attain to be able to progress any situation forward to find a solution.
Yeah.
But you can be angry in both of those situations and still get your point across.
I feel
Yeah,
Because I don't think
there's always a lot of
I don't
options.
think that right, yeah, more than one way to skin a cat. I don't think that anger as an emotion automatically dictates your behavior.
I feel like, at least for me as a person, I feel like fighting should be really like the last resort, at least like fist to fist. Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Mm-hmm.
definitely last resort. Fighting is
It's
not
not.
fun. I mean, even winning a fight isn't fun. You know what I mean? Like your hands hurt. If you won a fight and you threw the most punches and you knocked the person out, your hands hurt.
Mm-hmm.
Or if you took a single punch, now your face hurts, your stomach hurts. You know what I mean? That shit sucks, dude. Getting hit by like another
Yeah.
human.
It's like a war.
It's much easier.
No one wins them.
Yeah, no, hell no. Just measure like your fortitude against blood. Blood will always win.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just brought this whole men's mental awareness month just because I saw this one TikTok. I don't know if you guys saw it, of this woman dancing to a song. I think it was Boogie by Brookhampton. And the caption was like, a moment of silence for Men's Mental Awareness Month.
Yeah,
And
I've
obviously,
seen this.
yeah, that. It was like the woo woo. Like, obviously not being
Yeah.
silent. And like,
Damn.
it's like, I get it. I get it. Men can be horrible human beings. Yeah, they can be
Vicious.
fucking garbage. But at
Relentless.
yeah, but at the end of the day, like, they're human beings as well.
Yeah, truly.
Like, I know some of them think with the wrong
Yeah.
head, but come on.
Yeah.
Yeah, the way I like to think of it is like, I don't think we're born with like, badness or evil and with it us, it's usually a result of something, and it's always better to get to the root of the problem if we can. So like, even though like I can understand like, oh, guys suck, so like that's why I made that. Um, usually it's because it's a result of something else.
Yeah.
And like, for those people who actually do need the help and stuff, like, they see that it's like it's really like really hurtful.
It's kind of defeating. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like don't like don't take your pain and then take it out on other people, because that's basically what that video was.
Yeah.
It's like I had to deal with shitty guys, so I'm gonna do this shitty thing, which just causes more shittiness. It's usually not the best avenue to take.
No. And I also have seen a lot of people like make content relating to that video, and in particular there's this like one bodybuilder that I like follow on like Instagram, and I saw that there was a lot of people in the comments, like a lot of dudes being like, oh, this is why, this is part of the problem of why like we're not able to like seek therapy or whatever, which is like understandable, is because like there's a lot of negativity just even like about like men going to get therapy for some reason, But then I also saw people turn it around and they'll be like, "Oh, this is like more important than pride and like all this stuff." And then I feel like that I don't agree with either,
No.
because I feel like both are very important. And like in terms of suicide, like people who affiliate with like the LGBTQ plus community, like those people are 60% more likely to commit suicide. So it's like they should also be, cared about and considered as well. So like I definitely wish people
Right.
didn't take these positive things and like face them against each other in a negative way. Like that's not helpful to the movement either.
Mm-hmm. Goes back to that comparison thing.
Right.
Yeah, and it's like, again, we're human beings. We should work together and not always try to oppose each other on certain things.
Especially not something as altruistic as interpersonal and social cohesion, the mental health aspect of it, because like there's some really deranged individuals out there. I feel like if they were given
Yeah.
the right platform to be able to express themselves and the right mental health facilities, there'd be less of a negative impact on the society.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and just more information in general. Just like, because I mean, I know Dr. Oatmeal over here. He mentioned before this call. He mentioned it was warm lines, right?
Yeah, warm lines. It's like not a crisis hotline. It's like one step below that. So it's like a non-emergency mental health line that you can call into and talk to somebody.
Yeah, which is like, Crimson and I here didn't even know that existed.
Yeah, I did
It's
not.
just like simple awareness stuff like that is like, I mean, it can change someone's life,
Yeah.
Like, oh, I wish I would have known that, like this would have been helpful during this part of my life, or, could have saved people's lives. Just like having the knowledge is so essential.
It's like really nice to use those when you can't afford regular therapy. You can like call a warm line once a week or something like that. Just talk to somebody.
Yeah.
Just
So,
talk
I
to
mean,
somebody.
yeah, go ahead.
Yeah.
Yeah, whether it's your friends or significant other or, hopefully a therapist, if you can afford it, because I know that can also be an issue. Warm lines, hotlines, like all of that stuff. Like, just talk to someone if you need it. And even if you don't need it, you know.
Yeah.
Even if you just want it.
And I know there's like some there's some barriers to like getting therapy with like the cost of them can be an issue, or like if you're trying to get therapy out of your home state, that can be an issue.
Or scheduling.
Yeah. And I think there's a lot of options out there for help, but it's just some of them it's not very well known. Like where I go for therapy is I go through someone that isn't they aren't licensed, but they're like in training and they're being overseen by like an actual like trained therapist. And because I'm going through this program, which is at the university I was previously going through, like the service cost is only like $5 a session. But like,
oh wow,
yeah, but like even my own school didn't promote that program that they were running as being like an option for people. It's just I don't know why that knowledge of where to go can feel so gatekept.
It's kind of weird that like physical health, like going to see the doctors, like that's like very, like you should do that, like that's normalized. Like I don't know why mental health can't be in the same category, because if your brain is really fucked up, it's gonna affect your body.
Everything.
All the stress, and like people get like panic attacks.
insomnia.
Yep.
It's a whole mess of things that can
Like
happen.
the brain can kill the body.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, because, like, I mean, you got to think about it. Like, placebo effect is a thing, and it's real, which means that the reverse of it's also true. Most likely, at least.
Right.
So, I mean, if you feel pretty shitty, like, everything, like, most outcomes are not going to be great. Or they're, even the good stuff is going to be dampened.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, it's just like perception is also, like, really important.
Another thing that I wanted to add to Keaton's thing with the accessibility. With my therapist, I go in person, but she's also told me that if need be, I could just, talk to her through the phone. And I mean, I don't really like doing that. I like seeing the person physically in front of me, but it's nice to know that, like, if I really need it, I could just call her.
Yeah, and at least from experience,
Yeah.
I think most therapists are like that. We're like, hey, if there's an emergency situation and like, we gotta call sooner than what we had scheduled. Like, they're usually really helpful and usually like are very willing to work with you and help you.
Yeah. I do my psychiatry over the phone, but psychiatry is a little more laissez-faire than, well, not really laissez-faire, but it's a little bit less involved than therapy. She just like calls and asks like, "How's the medicine? Is it working? How do you feel about this? Is it good?" We like kind of discuss a treatment plan and stuff like that and go from there. Whereas like a therapist will actually get into like the nitty-gritty of like why you're feeling ways that you're feeling.
Man, life.
What is it?
I don't know if we want to talk about that again.
Yeah, I mean, that'll be revisited, I believe, later down the line, but not
Yeah.
this episode.
Yeah.
But I was just, putting a
I
little
wanna
plug in there.
I want to touch on that again when we're talking about Mars, I think.
Ooh, yeah, that's gonna
But
be a good
yeah,
one.
like what is life? What is being a multiplanetary species mean for us? Stuff like that.
Good questions.
Yeah,
But I
we gotta
digress.
figure out this mental health first.
Yeah, literally.
We gotta figure out the problems on Earth first before we go to the stars.
I mean, we might not have to, but it's important that we figure them out eventually.
Yeah, that's very true.
I think I really just hate the older generation.
Hate.
I don't think we should hate.
Not, I guess I
think we
hate.
should
I guess
hate, though.
dislike. Fine, I'll use dislike because hate's a big word. It's just basically because
Yeah.
they're always calling like the younger generation snowflakes, and like they're the biggest snowflakes I know because like you show them a rainbow flag and then their heads start spinning. And it's-
And pops off its hinges.
yeah.
Yeah.
Like, what do you mean your opinion isn't the same as mine? What do you mean you have your own opinion? And it's like, and especially with mental health, like, I think the older generation, they should go seek therapy.
Maybe
Yeah,
we should
no,
promote it
they definitely should.
for the older generation.
Yeah,
There's people that have been in like crazy ass wars.
yeah, and they
I'm
don't.
sure they need
Yeah.
somebody to talk to.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's a really tough situation to tackle though, because like I know the older generation, like obviously they're, they raised, I mean, depending on how old you go, but like they raised either our parents or us,
yeah,
and the thing is like I said before, I don't think we're born awful. You know, it was like either taught or learned. And so, you know, like what do you do about like those conflicts and issues between, I don't want to like paint an us versus them scenario, but you know, like how do we bridge that gap?
Yeah.
You know, I mean, that's obviously like something we haven't figured out because that's a very difficult issue, and it's really hard when, you know, people just will stop listening, and you can't really teach anyone anything if they're not listening.
That's
Yeah.
true.
But I mean, I'm just like very cautious to like jump to angry conclusions usually just because you know, it's like I mean, I've seen what that does, and it usually doesn't really resolve anything typically. But I think it's also important to like be upset too because it is a very upsetting situation.
It's just
But I really wish we did have like you know, some kind of solution or strategy for it.
Yeah, it's just hard when a lot of the channels for progress have to be engaged with voluntarily. You
Right.
know, people
Yeah,
gotta want that change. They gotta want that healing.
some people don't go
which
for it.
is so strange to me.
Yeah.
Yeah. But like human beings are like so adaptable, but yet we hate change.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's just such a bizarre concept. But like we're really good at it. So, but it's typically when it's like the situation forces our hands,
Right.
which obviously we can't really do that here cuz I mean probably shouldn't.
Probably
But the
shouldn't.
people are
No,
shouldn't doesn't mean we won't. No.
definitely not. I'm not gonna start putting old people in camps or anything like that. That'd be terrible. It's like
Yeah.
re-education. Like you're going to therapy camp.
Oh god, the worst.
Oh man. Oh, that would be something.
Well, I mean, if I wanted to like have a message to end this off, I guess is like just give it a chance, go to therapy. Like I don't know if they offer like maybe one-time tries, see if you even like it. But like I mean, what do you got to lose? Like an hour of your time? Like
Yeah.
it's really not that bad. Like
Yeah.
there are
Or
people
like,
there are people who care about you, like they want the best for you, and like they're really going to be supportive if you want to go to therapy. Like you are loved, and like you could do anything. Like humans can change for the better. Like we're able to do it. Just you got to put the work into it. It's not going to be easy, and it's not going to happen overnight, but there is light.
Truly.
Yeah, the important thing is just you have to try. And you know, coming from someone who's like, you know, like had really like crippling social anxiety, like, you know, sometimes you do just have to force yourself out of the comfort zone, and it's like really scary and it's terrifying sometimes, but you know, you have to want it for yourself. Like really.
yeah.
And I also do want to, you know, say something that's like really that I think is important for me, and I wanted to share it with the class here. But you know, I believe that to truly love and fully appreciate life, you have to love all aspects of it, and that's also true with oneself. You know, so you can't just like only your happy version of yourself. You also have to love your angry, sad, and all the other emotional states. You have to love every version of yourself to really truly appreciate and to fully actually love yourself.
Yeah.
That's real.
Yeah, I think it's a good take.
Yeah.
I also did want to throw this out there too. Yeah, I agree that I feel like just going out and at least just trying it is a really good idea. And like, you also have the option of like the warm lines, as Astra and I learned from Dr. Oatmeal, that those exist. So like even just calling on there like one time on your way home from work, or just like, it doesn't, like, that's not a commitment. It's not like you have to continue to call them back. Like, you can just try it.
Yeah. And it's free. Well, you have to have phone service. It's not like one of those numbers that you can call even if you don't. I think only 911 works like that.
And is there like also like texting services like where you can type like a message to them?
Yeah, like BetterHelp and shit like that.
Yeah, because like that could be helpful for people who have like really bad phone anxiety too.
Right.
Because I know that can be very crippling.
Scary.
I mean, it's scary for me personally, but
I used to do phone sales.
I mean, actually,
I used to like call random people all day for work, like make 200 something phone calls a day.
damn.
Yeah. Could you imagine? I think
No.
you could do it.
Not really.
I think like you're kind enough to want to help these people, and that's all I was trying to do.
Yeah.
I think that's a good stopping point.
It's interesting though.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Yeah.
No, this was a
Thanks for having us.
yeah, this was a short one. Sorry, but I just figured this would be nice because men's
Straight to the point.
mental health awareness isn't really talked about.
No. In fact, it's like scoffed at.
Yeah, so it's like
You know?
maybe just put a little light onto it.
Yeah. I think
Yeah,
that's
shine
good
a little
idea.
light.
Yeah.
And there's always a lot of. Oh, I just want to add too. There's also a lot of online resources as well. For me personally, I use like healthygamer.gg. So I also wanted to throw that in there right before we end the epi. And I found that to be personally very helpful as well.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you guys for listening. Make sure to like, subscribe, share this. I promise the next one will be more fun than this one.
Yeah.
We're gonna be
Yeah,
goofballs
don't
again.
worry.
Don't worry.
I had to get on a serious note.
already-
for a
Yeah.
second.
Yeah.
Had to place the hand on the
Lock
shoulder.
in.
Had to walk
Yeah,
with you
right.
on this.
Turn the chair around, sit backwards on it, be like, you know, we have a lot of fun here on Starkage.
Yeah.
Put my hat
After
backwards.
school special. Yeah, exactly.
You know, kids, talking about your feelings is cool.
It's hip.
Yeah. Don't be a loser and
Oh my
not talk
gosh.
about your feelings.
Yeah,
Yeah. It's cool to feel.
Hell yeah.
it is. When we're dead, we'll miss this.
Yep. Only got one
Yeah.
life.
Gotta
Yeah.
live it out.
All right. We'll see you guys in the next one.
Bye-bye.
Bye bye.